What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Clix conversation. I'm here with the head judge extraordinaire, organizer, team captain of Vegas, and hopefully we can make this a regular thing. But Roland, what's up, buddy?
How's it going, guys? Nice to see you again.
So Jeff and I talked about the Invitational on the podcast, but he did it mostly from his perspective, which was the side events and just kind of doing all the other stuff. But you were actually knee deep into the main event, co-main event, and actually like overseeing everything. Yeah. So let's hear your perspective of how the event went, the logistics and I guess you could say feedback, whatever, just
feedback. Yeah.
Floor is yours.
Thank you. So, first of all, I have to say, I think the event was a success all the way around from start to finish. When we got there on Thursday, through cleanup on Sunday, it worked really well. We ran multiple events multiple times a day throughout all 3 days of the weekend. Being able to pull that off logistically was something we were concerned about, but when we got in the flow there and did it, we were able to have the side events going off with a featured event, with top 8, with this and everything. So and I think the players were able to recognize that too, that here's everything that was going on, when it was going on, where it was going on. Overall, I would say that the West Coast creativity was on full display, especially in the featured events of the popper event for some of the combos and some figures that we got to see. Even for some players that maybe didn't make it and do as well in the 1K, the co-main event, seeing some new figures and some new teams that were being built for that. But yes, I have nothing but glowing things to say on the podcast that we have here. I know I got a lot of feedback from players, a lot of it positive, a lot. There was good feedback and good constructive criticism to make the next one even bigger and better that we will incorporate into ours for that as well. I know Pat gave me a glowing introduction, but I do want to give a big thank you to everybody that helped me out that weekend, and that's Jeff, his wife Quinn, our third judge on the floor, Craig, my scorekeeper, Mike Miva, that was helping us there. Ed and Sarah, who was just doing some auxiliary stuff throughout the weekend to help us out. We wouldn't have been able to put that on without them as well. And I think Jeff and I say thank you and appreciate it and congratulations to those guys.
That's awesome. Real quick, how many throughout the weekend, how many unique players would you say there were there? Because I know our goal was about 50.
The goal was 50. So I would say we had over 50 unique individuals walk through the door. I don't have an exact number because my one sheet from one day, I lost it. So I didn't have the exact numbers, but counting everybody who played in just side events, just showed up to partake at our 2 vendors that we have there, to play in a paid tournament, we had over 50 people doing some kind of Heroclix for the weekend. And speaking of our vendors, shout out to Jeff and Clix Collective and Dustin and Tony at Troll Skull Games, who are our 2 vendors for the weekend. I know they had a blast. They sold out of a lot of product. They had a good time. People were able to get some good stuff from them. So that was an added bonus that we had for the event for the weekend.
Good. So now for the next year, hopefully we can get more vendors. Yeah. And it'd be cool to have, if you guys got on there, have a little booth for the comics too. Even just bulk stuff, that would be nice.
So Vegas, Patrick, and I, who are the ones who organized the Vegas qualifiers and regionals, we already have been talking about our 2023 event and what we can do for it. And then we can use, if those work out well for ours, we can use it for the end of the year, season 1, for some ideas that we have. Yeah.
Do you think that the venue is better, this one or the one that we were at last time that we were at?
So that's some of the feedback that we got. Okay. The physical room and the physical library, we were at a better one at this one than the one I ran in August.
But the neighborhood
location in town was worse for this one than the one we were at in August.
I kind of got that feeling too myself.
And that is a balance that we have to examine and work on, for things like that. If we still use the same East Las Vegas library, is there a better way we communicate where food is, where things are around that area?
Well, I think that because it was we kind of made it a little later than we wanted
Right.
in terms of reserving. I think we
Yeah.
could get the original one if we
Correct.
just have enough time.
We
Because
have enough time.
that was a
Exactly.
beautiful location.
Yeah. And I think even though that room's is slightly smaller, I think it would still fit for everything we did.
Yeah.
But the room that we were in, great Wi-Fi. We streamed all weekend on their
Okay.
public
Yeah,
Wi-Fi.
that was
We
nice.
had the screens going. You saw it on the Facebook Live videos. We had the screens going that everybody could see and everything that was going. We had the mic stands. We had the room. The tables weren't as great as the other library, but we made it work. But we had spaces all the way around that we didn't really think we would use or what it would be. But one turned out to be a family area.
Yeah.
One turned out to be for open gaming. So there's a lot of benefits to it, but it's just a discussion for us to have for the next.
That's good. That's good. And now I like that you threw the gauntlet down to everyone that's not on the West Coast to come out and test your mettle, because the world doesn't revolve around the Midwest and the East Coast, guys. Like, you guys come out here and then see if you could do some work, right? Because
Right.
like, I know that a lot of people were talking about trying to come out, but I know that Florida also had theirs.
Right.
So that I don't know if it actually. Like, for me, I don't know if there's any crossover.
Right.
Like, I don't know how many people from here would have gone there and how many people from there would have gone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Florida was having the same time. It was right after the holidays, because we had to do the first weekend in January right after the holidays. Looking at when we can schedule to help out for holiday travel is something to consider for when people can go. I mean, I know that there are factors in there. This was also the first big one that we did post-pandemic.
Yeah.
So now that they see what we did. And if you didn't get a chance to see it, and I know you guys are watching on YouTube or wherever you're watching this, go to Majestix Facebook page and just look at the videos, the live videos we did throughout the weekend, just to see the energy in the room, just to see everything that was going on.
And people were using the hashtag too, their own pictures.
The hashtag, your own pictures and everything, but you can see everything that we were doing, even with 50 people in the room, even with people playing this event or this event, but just the energy and the fun that everybody had. That's the big event that we're going on, whether you're a casual player or a competitive player.
Right. Yeah. And the other thing, what I do like, and I think we can do this at a bigger, grander scale. We can obviously make it better. The pageantry of like announcing the top 8, the winner, and everyone just kind of gathering around to make it look a little bit, to make it feel more prestigious, more important. Things like that, not just like, oh, you win and you're the only one here because everyone left.
Yeah.
Because like, they all got booted, but.
Yeah, for the most part, up until the 2K one, which was finished late on Sunday, we had a full house for when everybody got announced, and if there wasn't a full house, I called them out on the following day to recognize them and stuff like that. So
okay, now the other question for me would be the logistics. I know that the time was going to might have been an issue. Did the time from opening to close, was there an issue at any of like, oh, we got to hurry up because we got to close, we got to get out of here, or was it like pretty slow?
No, because Jeff and myself were really on top of it. Good. And beforehand, he and I penned out a schedule when everything had to go, where do we have to make sure everything fired off on, and I had my schedule at my podium. This is when this needs to go, and I could time it out. And we were on schedule or ahead of schedule all weekend. And that allowed us to know, okay, if the round goes up, if we're ahead on the round here, we got a little bit of a break here, we can do this. We finish by 5, everybody can get out. So the concern was, it's 5:30, we still got one more round to do. We don't have time, we don't get to do the round.
Right.
That never happened. We never came close to that.
Good.
The one sacrifice that got made for that is, and especially in the 2K portion, everybody had to go back to back to back to back. There were no breaks. Right. There was no lunch. There was no anything. That's what got sacrificed. For the featured events, the side events, even for the co-main, which was only 5 rounds, not that big of a deal. Okay. Bring some snacks. We had some snacks there.
Yeah, good.
For the 2K players, especially on Friday and Saturday, when they had to go 6 rounds back to back, that's where it felt it. Now, Jeff and I brought snacks, and Sarah was with me all weekend.
Nice.
Do you guys need Gatorade? Do you guys need water? Do you guys need peanut butter and jelly sandwiches? Who's hungry? And we were giving stuff out to people.
That's good.
Because I knew they couldn't have it, and I was doing it for them. The guys were good to me. On Friday, I told them, get there at 9. We're going to be standing outside in the cold, but that's when me and Jeff are going through our announcements. So when we get inside at 10, we can start right away.
That's good.
And they worked with us. They understood. They did their best. When we got ahead, guys, take 15 minutes. You got a 15-minute break.
Nice.
Now.
Okay, good.
So,
good.
Yeah.
That's good. It's good. Very organized, like very like drill sergeant style. That's good.
You know,
It
I
has
had
like
to
that.
keep them on there, and sometimes I had to be a little mean guy, but
Look,
you know
what?
we got it
It's
done.
better. You know what? It's better like that than having delays and everybody just kind of wondering what's going on. What are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we? Because like that happens a lot when it comes to, let's say you're at WizKids events, like actual WizKids run events. You're just like, so we're just gonna wait here because like there's all these weird delays because a lot of times they're just running around, they're unprepared.
You know, I definitely kept the floor informed for what was going on, when it was going on, when we're doing it. If you got time to do a bathroom break or a smoke break to go do this, like even for the main floor, like to always keep them updated. And that's one of the benefits that we had with the facilities. So I had a microphone with the speakers going off. We had the screen so I could post the pairings. I can get everybody seated. Who's missing their partner? Where are they? Let's get them over here. So like everybody was working together on the floor to keep it going.
Right.
So.
Okay, good. Okay, well then that's this we're still talking about the invitational, so we're just going to segue into our rundown here. We're going to have like 5 topics we're going to talk about. So
before we do that, I do want to give out recognition to our winners for the weekend. So for our various events, for our 3v3 Super Crossover Seal, congratulations to Trash Birds for winning that. That is Chip, Jesse, and Brian took home that they're going to get their name on the Deadpool trophy. For our Popper event, congratulations to Jonah, who was running his MCU Multiverse of Madness Doctor Strange theme
Mystical
team. So it was all Strange and all Scarlet Witches, which was pretty cool. Congratulations to John, who won our X of Swords Battle Royal League for the whole weekend and walked away with a grand prize Apocalypse for winning the final Battle Royal. Shout out to Alyssa for winning the artist contest that we had there for her she painted and crafted dice and token and tray little holders.
Yeah.
So she didn't go traditional figures. She did for the accessories that we had on there. And then finally, recognition to the brothers, Jose and Anthony, taking the 1K and 2K respectively.
Ooh, look at that.
Showing it how it is there. So Team Phoenix Nest with an F, because that's the troll.
Maybe that's the actual real team. Maybe they're actually now the real one.
Maybe it is. Maybe I should.
Maybe that's how you actually spell it now.
Spell it now.
that's the real way, not the other way.
Exactly. So congratulations to them for taking both the 1K and 2K and taking a lot of cash out of Pat's pocket for that.
Yeah. So then now let's segue into the invitational. So our rundown. Okay. So the first one, topic 1, we're going to talk about the metagame of the co-main event. The 1K, the regional. We had 27 players, and the top 8 we've already talked about that. But your overall impression of what everyone is playing, and actually more importantly, what were some of the teams that you saw that just missed a cut that were, I guess, unique, something different than what you would see?
Okay.
Right. Like just real quick, what were how many 3 and 2s didn't get in? Do you know?
3 or 4. There were
3 of so
there was
any of those teams okay.
Yeah,
so any of those stand out that are like like these unique teams, like, oh, you know what, this guy just missed it by 50 points.
Yeah.
What do we got?
I know 11th went 3 and 2 because that was Joe from Las Vegas.
Okay.
10th was Moses from Las Vegas. 12th might have been 3 and 2 as well.
Okay.
So I was there. Okay.
Any of those teams catch your eye?
So for those teams, I don't have the full build this up here, so I'm trying to go off of memory. Pardon the silver here, but it's a little bit rough there. I can know that overall, and what was in there was more defensive-oriented teams than Alpha Strike teams.
Okay.
For instance, Joe was running a Merlin Annihilation combo, so he was Merlining you in the back, Annihilation going up with her bystanders to go ahead and do that. So it was more of standard middle of, between the 20s type of team that
Okay.
that they were doing there. And that's what I remember seeing in that low 3-2, high 2-3 range. It
Okay.
was people trying to play defensive for anti-alpha strike, or they
When
were
you say
going,
defense, is it just defense values or like actual barrier?
so it was non-offensive teams. So
Okay.
like Merlin, Doom to limit your actions, Merlin to limit your actions, Harry Leland sitting in there,
Okay.
defend shell, 20 defense, stuff like that. But the team doesn't go starting area to start area to hit you.
Right.
It wants to play in the center of the map, and it's going to hurt you in some way, shape, or form, right?
Okay.
So those were the ones that were just on the outside looking in. Sitting there was also several anti-equipment mechanics. We had,
Yeah. How many Leonardos were there?
I was to say we had at least 2. I want to say 3. I can't remember if there was a third that was like kind of way down on the standings. But I know there was at least 2 there.
Well, in the top 8, Brian
And yes,
played one.
and we had the one in the top 8. So outside of the top 8, it was at least 2, if not a third, out there.
Wow. So there could have been at least 4.
Right.
There was probably 4. Wow. Okay.
Okay.
Interesting.
And I do remember seeing several mini slayers and remaker rings just on build sheets.
Okay.
So when I just going through the build sheets, there's anti-equipment things there. Not quite sure how they were used or who they were used on, but it was there. Didn't make it into the top 8, but I think it shows players trying to anticipate, look at new stuff, or maybe, and this is no knock on the players, but sometimes a mid-level player, that 9 through 16 player, he knows what he is, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to try this, and just to counter what I think the top guys goes to give me a better puncher's chance,
Yeah.
and to get in there. So I do know that at one point we had Leonardo versus Leonardo, and they rolled off all the equipment on both teams.
They hit every single one?
They hit every single one.
That's funny.
Yes.
So basically you're just fighting naked.
Yeah, you're just fighting the teams. You're fighting the teams.
Nice.
And one of the teams had Airstrike Ross on it, and he was able to take out the other guy with it.
Those are the kind of things, obviously, when I remember you were posing the question on the on our page about like what you think of Bronze Age.
Right.
That and you were talking about how like those types of pieces, like Airstrike, it's like a perfect example.
Yeah.
Before there was Silver Age, like Leonardo and things like that would have been under that umbrella, because remember, it's only modern or bust before that. So
pretty much,
when I also think of bronze, I think of that, of the stuff that's like not modern, but because they're silver now, it kind of well, we're getting this, so you got to go farther back, which is fine, but it's like, well, we can't really say, because like there was even someone's like, well, you could do this in silver, and I'm like, yeah, we've been doing that. It's just silver is this new format that like this thing, because like someone was talking about like all the giant girls on the sideline, with the Avengers recruiter, like we could have done that a long time ago, but it's just this thing. So anyway, going forward in the metagame for 2023, is it just going to be anti-equipment stuff? Because that's what I feel like everything is. Because if you've noticed, we'll see when we go down to later on, but a lot of teams are like 3 or 4 objects just equipped on people.
Right.
Or just playing Mad Jim, and you're like, whoa.
I think it depends on the play group that you're in, and what does that play group focus on and do. There are plenty of ways to do anti-equipment. Is that the important thing that you're going to do? Are you going to just incorporate it on your team? I think you might just see more incorporation. For instance, mini slayers just might start showing up. Orange rings just might start showing up, right? Yeah. But I don't know if the full team would be designed to hurt the equipment.
Right.
I can tell you since this happened, for the Vegas guys, when we've gotten together and started just brainstorming and thinking of stuff, what we are focusing on, and this isn't spoilers or anything, but it's basically our strategy is, we know the Alpha Strike's there. What can we do when we go second on the map and we lose map roll? Okay. And that's what we're focusing on. Are we going to be able to defend against the Alpha Strike, stop it somehow, have counter mechanics in there, or just resurrection mechanics? What are we doing? We're planning to go second and get hit and then hit back harder. And that's what our play group's going to do. If Oregon's thinking about anti-equipment, they're going to be thinking about anti-equipment. If Arizona's thinking about a alpha strike, then they're going to be alpha strike.
Yeah.
So,
sorry, you said Arizona. You mean tentpole?
Tentpole. Okay, I wasn't trying to throw shade. I was just trying to think of areas, right? But but I mean, no. So like, I think it depends on the play group and the play area. Especially since we're not going to get a WizKids event until later in the year. Like after Worlds in September, the October and November qualifiers looked like what was going on at Worlds, right?
Right.
So it's going to be the different regional flavors that are going to kind of determine what they want to do.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess this is a segue into that again. Look at that. Topic number 2. We're gonna go over the Batman team up first impressions. So that came out just last week.
Yeah.
And now that it's legal, you've probably played it, tested out a few things. What are your first impressions? Like, what are you excited to try out?
So first impressions overall, lanterns are almost a must play in my mind. It hasn't caught there yet, like mandatory, but it's getting there where you
like
run
the
a
rings. You talk about the rings or just the keyword? Wait, what are you talking? Which one?
To be able to make the constructs.
Okay.
Whether you are a Wonder Woman 80 chase that makes the constructs, or you give somebody a ring for free to make the constructs, so they would have that particular keyword. Running those constructs is so versatile that you can get on your team for cheap. It's almost mandatory in my opinion. In modern, more so than bronze, because modern is such a limited figure pool.
Right.
But that's my first impression, is those constructs is you have to consider it. The second one is animals got a big boost in my opinion. There's 3 big animals that came out, both Beast Boys, the Uncommon, the Prime, and then the Brain. I think they go on animal teams, and you're going to see more animal flavor that can go along to probably rival the X-Swap teams.
You're missing one, Puppy Power.
Oh, the chases. You know what? Usually I don't think of the chase.
Scrappy. Sideline. Yeah, I mean that's really good.
Yeah, Scrappy's a good one. Yeah. So there's a 4th one that goes on animals. So those are my initial meta tournament pieces for the set. The set as a whole, I think it's really balanced and sealed, even with only 4 figures. I think you can get a competitive team in playing sealed. I like how it plays within itself, within Wonder Woman 80 as the modern DC. The figures I'm looking forward to run from a tournament perspective is the new Legacy Commissioner Gordon. Already looking to incorporate him on my Gamora Blitz team. Like barrier-free TK leadership, he checks off so many boxes, right?
Yeah.
So
TK,
that's like
oh my god.
That's the meta piece I'm looking at. For a fun piece, and I know he potentially has some meta, but just for a fun piece is Deathstroke. Just because he can get a lot of my soldier keywords onto a few other things with Justice League to make that weekly tournament team. So I personally would use Deathstroke as more of my weekly thing, but I do know that there's meta potential with his keywords and with his pulse wave.
I mean that Deathstroke is
yeah.
For me, I do agree with the constructs, the lanterns, but you need to give it to someone with the actual keywords. So I think pieces like Chip and Teen Lantern, Teen Lantern, whatever. Yeah, they get even better because not only do they get the rings, but when they can make those constructs, especially if you're talking about anti-alpha strike, they can just make a free barrier guy. Yeah. And then that barrier guy says you can't use improved movement, so they can't even like break it by moving through. They can't fly over. So you can actually be a defensive anti-alpha strike team and also alpha strike yourself.
Because when you alpha strike, you can drop the fire hydrant to remove 2 of those barriers that they just made and then go punch them.
Exactly. So there's so if someone's not playing, which I think you have to, you're right. Yeah. Like the lanterns of some sort, then you're a big advantage because if you just have 2 people with different color constructs, they can just each make a barrier piece, and then they can go across and then do that. So that's one. I think that, of course, animals. I agree with that too. Scrappy is a good one, but I think Deathstroke has the potential to be really, really good.
Mhm.
I've seen him I've seen Kevin play him in Sealed, and that's I was like, wait, what is this piece? Because I saw him maybe
Yeah.
because I just saw him roll a 5 and 6 on his pulse wave, and like consecutive games, and he just like annihilated like his opponent. I was like, what? I'm like, what is this guy do? What? Like, how did you just? What are you doing? Why are you taking? He's like, because he's like, oh, I'll do 40 here and do 1 there. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, it's Blade's pulse wave. I'm like, oh, okay. And
Yeah.
he ignores characters when he moves on movement, so you can't. It's hard
Right.
to lock him down. And his stop click is Mastermind within 4, I think.
Yeah.
And you can't,
Yeah.
and you can't. It's like, wow, this guy's really hard to kill. And then, like you said, he gets the key. He can give people his keywords,
Right.
which we're gonna go over later on. We're gonna talk more about Deathstroke.
Yeah.
But I also think I know there's a lot of hype around Batman, the Prime.
The Prime Batman. Yeah, everybody's going to be
I
wanting that.
I think
part of that's the fanboy in people, and part of it is it's a good piece.
yeah. I think more importantly, you have to. We're looking at the 25-point value.
Yeah.
Because at 25 points, even if he dies, whatever. I mean, you're getting. He's 25 points, but you're getting 20 points of stuff for free, right? Because you're getting the ring and the belt.
Yeah.
And he has that ability too, where whatever markers he makes, you have to break away from him, and he just has plasticity.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, or he can have plasticity with the belt.
Belt. Yeah.
And then now, like, you got to try to break away from that, and he has stealth, and he has barriers. Like that's something to look for. And he's a taxi for 25 points that carries 8 people. Oh man, for sure, that's good.
That's little side tangent here. I'm going to go off on that. That's something that for the lapsed players in Vegas that have gotten back into the game over the last year, that have just started talking with me about it, maybe played in a battle royal, what they're seeing not only are figures, you're getting much more out of their point values than you used to.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
But, and that's fine. If you want a 25-point character to be worth 50 points, okay. But what they're also seeing is you have to put in a lot more resources to KO said cheap figure. 30-point figures have stop clicks. They got 18 defenses with 2 save rolls. Like, to get more, almost everything in the game, you have to put in double the points either through outwits or combat pumps just to be able to kill 30 points.
Yeah, that's just the way everything is. Like I said, before, Sky Tyrant has ruined it for every 50-point piece in the game.
Yeah.
Because he's the ultimate alpha strike piece, undying piece, offensive piece, like you name it. He's just everything there. So it's you're going to be comparing all your 50-point pieces to that guy.
I mean, think about this, and I can tell you this, right? In the 1K, right? Going back to the 1K, I think only one match in the top 8 didn't go to time and was done at 300-0. Okay.
Right.
For most of once you get past like the first couple rounds and things kind of even out in the draft, rounds 3, 4, and 5, very few games went under time and were done 300-0. You don't get 300 points anymore. You're in a dogfight, 200 to 175. 40. Like, that's what the game is.
Yeah. It's just so much more playability.
Yeah. Yeah. Back in the day, half your games would be done well before time, and I got 300 to 200, 300 to 0, what it is.
Yeah.
But your top of the leaderboard was 300, 600, 900.
Yep.
As the rounds went on. That's rare in today's game.
Yeah,
no
that's
matter what
true.
Age you play.
It is. That's true, especially because a lot of people now are just very, very conscious of giving up points.
Yeah.
Whereas before you would just be like, I have a team base. I don't care. I'm going to try to kill you. But even if you get a lot of points, I'm going to wipe your team. Yeah. And, that's how it would be, right? Now it's like, do I want to make this guy or not? Do I want to bring him in? Because, like, you're going to give him more points. Yeah. So on a fun note on this, like you're talking about Deathstroke. I think Deathstroke's actually like, I think he's probably tier 1 or like he's probably up there. But I think Larfleeze, for all my Arizona guys, that's the new tent pole that you got to look at for bronze, because you can load that guy up with everything, and he can steal everybody's stuff.
And Sealed could not take him down.
Oh my god!
Nick and I ran some practice games, and he ran Larfleeze, and I basically was like, "Well, I'm killing everything else and not him."
Yeah.
And I'll just win on time. That's how this is going. You know. But if Larfleeze can get in there, you're just like, make me deal with him, that he's a problem.
Yeah. Especially when he starts stealing all your stuff.
Yeah.
Then it's like, great. Now he's loaded up, and now I got to deal with this guy. And and if they build it right, where let's say the other 100, let's say he's 175, and you're paying points for other stuff, and let's say there's only less than 100 points of actual on the map. He just has to look at two 50-point pieces on the other side and win.
Yep.
So if he could do that, then that's like you're already ahead. So that's something. I think
you're right. If and when Larfleeze makes the top 8, it'll be an Arizona player, whether it's the Temple guys down in Tucson or whether Wes comes up with some idea with him, right? Larfleeze is going to be played by the Arizona guys. Get used to it.
I think that's he's one of those like a BBW / fringe competitive piece that can actually be good enough to, in the right situation, can just win. If they're like, oh my gosh, everyone's playing like Mad Jim or something, or everybody's playing like let's say they're playing for example, let's say everyone's playing like Wonder Woman or Batman or a bunch of pieces that have 2 objects.
Right.
Yeah. Then he just takes it from them. And it's like, oh, I have like 8, I have like 10 things now.
Yep.
And by the way, you're also dead because I'm also doing like 6.
Yeah, I'm hitting you really hard. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's something. And then lastly, I think that I was talking to Jeff about this. I like, for me, the BBW thing is like the Mystery Inc. guys, I think, have potential to be really fun and maybe an outside shot of making top 8 if you build it correctly, because I think the chases are pretty solid considering.
Yeah. So I can tell you,
there's
Vegas Patrick, who made the final table, already has his invite, is going to be focusing more on bronze builder awards.
Yeah.
And he's already looking at Detective and Mystic Inc. or Mystery Inc. And he's like, all right, let's see what we can do. And in his hands, if we work on the team, it could be that bottom half of the top 18.
Yeah, and who knows? You could be top 4. You never know.
Exactly. And once you get there, you just need the right draw and a little bit of luck on your side, and you make it. That's it.
And you know what's cool about this, because like the 4 people from the regional, the 4 people from the invitational, they're already in. All 8 of them are just like, oh, I can play some funky stuff now, because they don't have to worry about anything. So it should be really fun.
I hope so, and I'm in your little itinerary when you said outro and thoughts for 2023. We'll address that then. So what we're gonna play.
And that's, we're gonna have to also come up with like Craig has already gave me a list of BBW incentive points. We're gonna get to the series. He's like, this is the initial one, but I'm already thinking for the February, because that's when everyone's gonna be doing the winner maps that have signed up. They're already doing in February. I'm already thinking of we're going to be looking at Ant-Man based stuff, Ant-Man, and because that's when the movie comes out. So let's look at that, and we'll go from there. So, all right. So topic number 3, and this is kind of a pretty big announcement because it is also kind of Whiskers related. The ROC announced that they're bringing back Howard in particular, is obviously because he's the one who owns the ROC. He announced that there's going to be at least $5,000 in cash payout at the ROC Cup in May. And the one big change is in Silver Age is no more ID cards. So everybody get ready for ID cards. You should have got rid of them yesterday. So, because by the time you're listening to this, it's probably too late. So, what are your initial reaction?
So my initial reaction is, for such a big announcement, why did I have a hard time finding it on the internet? I messaged Pat, I'm like, it's not on their Facebook page, it's not on their website. What is the announcement?
Yeah.
And you're like, it's on some app that they have.
Yeah, it's Oxit, yeah.
WTF? Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. Like, seriously?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
I looked on his Facebook page, and he had a tease a while ago of a dollar sign picture.
Yep.
I'm like,
he announced it on the Oxit. Yep.
So the big thing is that they're doing ROC Cup again in May.
Yes.
Do they have the schedule out for ROC Cup? No. Okay. But he wants to give away 5K in May. Okay.
Yeah.
And the big change to the format is no more ID cards.
Yeah.
Nothing else changed. Like, it's still superior foes to current.
Yeah, it's like that. It's an eternal format where it's just gonna be like new cards on. But I also think that if if and when that is like legal, which it's going to be legal when they have the qualifiers for the ROC
The
Cup
first
coming
one,
up
yeah.
soon.
Okay.
I think they're gonna probably take Thanos off the ban list because the reason why he was on there was because he was just
because of the ID cards.
so,
Yeah.
but he was not there. It's not there. Then it's fine
Because was there any other figures on their ban list that was there specifically
because
for
of
an
that.
ID card column
No,
or
it was just
something?
him. No,
Because
the
I know
actual they had
Go ahead.
ID cards on there, so
But
that's
not like another Colin or another weird thing.
no.
Okay, so Thanos might come back into play. Thanos' time, I think, is come and gone. You know, we'll see if anybody runs him.
Yeah.
But okay, so initial thoughts on it. Okay. I guess I'm glad the ID cards are gone. I never liked that mechanic from the jump when they first came out, right?
I liked them. I liked them and the old rules because they were balanced.
And that's what
once they changed it, I was like, okay, that's
Gen
stupid.
1 rules where beginning of turn double power action was at least balanced.
And you have to have no action tokens.
No action tokens because
that's
double power.
huge. Well, it's not double power. It's just an action, but
was no okay. So whatever.
You have to have no action tokens. So
so that was fine. Once we saw when they changed it and what it became, which was
stupid. Yeah.
So I guess kudos to ROC for doing that. In essence, their Silver Age is now Magic Extended. It's basically
you're right. It's extended.
Recent retired, modern retired. Okay.
I guess it would be Pioneer for Magic.
Yeah, the new see this hair? I played in Extended in Type 1 and Type 2. Okay, I know what those are. I mean, initial thoughts as you take ID cards out. Any combos that you see in bronze that are revolved around silver figures you're going to see now are going to come to the forefront. I have a feeling like it's just going to be modern plus and the last couple years of stuff probably to Dark Phoenix Saga.
Yeah.
That's about it. Batman animated, you know
what's going to look where it's going to look different, like starkly different is when the rotation hits in July, like July 1st when it's gone or June 1st, whichever one. The modern metagame is going to be way different than what Silver is going to look like. Silver is going to have Wonder Woman stuff still.
Yeah. So
and
I think it's going to.
I mean, the Sky Tyrant's still in there.
Yeah, it's going to take a rotation for Silver to look
change, different. Right? Yeah.
But will Silver look different than what we've been doing in Bronze now that the ID cards are gone?
Right.
Because anything they can do in Silver, we can do in Bronze, potentially better with like a Craven or Jason Sparta or whatever.
All that stuff.
So intrigued to see what they come up with. Probably will be more interesting next season's ROC Cup than 2023. So, in terms of the number, in terms of the money, cool. Still hard as hell to get from Las Vegas, the most traveled international airport in the country, to Huntsville, Alabama. That's 2 flights plus a rental car.
Yeah, it's tough.
I don't care how much money you're giving, man. That's hard for us to get there. And I live in Las Vegas. Anyway.
That's a direct message to Howard from Roland.
I mean, I know you want to have it at your store because if you have it at your store, you make all the money.
Oh yeah,
you control everything so that you can give out the 5K. I completely understand that. I think if you are doing this to get players in, you're gonna get more players in. At least that's what Howard's hoping to get more players in. Extend Howard, look west. You know what East Coast is. You know what the East Coast players are. You're doing that. That's great. Let's have an event out here. Let Oregon run it. Let Utah run it. Whatever. It doesn't have to be us in Vegas. Doesn't have to be SoCal. Something to get us out there. Something to get the player base out here to want to go play in the ROC Cup. And the money's part of it.
They're going to be. Well, they're going to be doing the states, like, ROC states, just like they did. But also they're going to be doing like the region. So did you play during, I think you came in right after they started doing the regionals. Did you?
Yeah. Last year I came in right after the regionals. I came in after ROC.
Yeah. Because they had it and, they had like, I want to say they had like maybe 10 or something like that. But they had one in LA. They had one in Oregon and they had one in Arizona.
Okay.
And I think it's going to be like that again, but it's for the regional. But it's if you win, you qualify to go to the cup.
To go to the cup, yeah.
But like you said, it is tough, which is why I think only I want to say like 2 or 3 people went from here because it was just
here
tough.
being the West Coast.
Yeah,
2 time zones.
Yeah. So
you got 3 people from 2 time zones, Howard.
Yeah, I think so because I think it was Anthony, Jose, they went, and then it was Jackson.
Those are the 3. Okay.
I think those were the only ones because I don't think like. Oh
Nobody
no, didn't no, Nick went to Worlds.
Nick with the Worlds, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
okay, that's okay. So
yeah.
he did.
Nobody from Vegas went to the ROC Cup. I don't think anybody from Arizona went to the ROC Cup. I don't know.
Well,
about
I know they. You know what they? I think they had like maybe 40 people there for the cup, and that was with the Scott Porter, Huntington's.
Right, because they now merge those where the ROC Cup is with his charity event.
Yeah, it's on there. So that I think it's weird because I think probably more people went there for his thing than the actual because they were there to support the charity. Like the charity made a lot of money there. Mm-hmm. Like so, I think a lot of people were there for that. Yeah. But also like WizKids, because it was a Scott Porter thing, they also donated a bunch of prizing.
Yeah.
So
and
that was a good incentive, but.
If I lived closer, I would go. I've played in ROC events. I got a tub of ROC dice from over the years. Don't get me wrong. It's not like I'm anti-ROC or anything. It's just
accessibility.
It's really hard to get out there. Anyway, but
so,
I'm glad he's building it and growing it more.
Yeah, it's back again,
for
the
community,
price,
which is great. So yeah.
Were you playing around when it was 15K?
Yeah. I went to Atlanta a couple years.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, I went to Atlanta a couple years.
Yeah, remember how nice that one? It was like very like man, I wish it was that again.
Yeah.
That was really cool. It was 24 hours of just Heroclix.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, hey, this is a good start.
You know what? And Howard, I will say this. Okay, Howard, from a retired player. Okay, if you want to run a big event somewhere in Texas, somewhere in Illinois.
Oh yeah.
Hell, somewhere even in Atlanta, right? I'll volunteer to run the midnight event like I've done in Atlanta before. I'll help you do something. I'll go there and have fun. I'll play in some battle royals. We'll get some West Coast guys out here, okay? I don't mind helping you do something and do it, right? But it's just very difficult for us out here who have to fly to make it to where you are for the East Coast guys who can just drive there. Don't get me wrong. I lived in Florida for a long time. Everything was within 4 hours. It wasn't that hard.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Okay, so that's remember Howard. That's a direct message from Roland. So
that is.
If you're listening, or anybody can get the message to Howard, get that to him. Okay, so topic number 4. Mm-hmm. Avengers 60th Solicitation came out. Mm-hmm. It's the set after Spider-Man. So the Spider-Man set's coming out. Theoretically supposed to come out end of March. But I tell everyone that's asked me since this came out, everyone has to say, hey, look, be ready for April. Yeah. Just be ready for April because you never know what's going to happen with the delays and whatever. Right. So like I always say, be safe, April. Don't be getting all excited as going to come out in March. So, which also means that the Avengers set, supposed to come out, I think, in May.
Okay.
Which probably means June.
June, yeah.
So I think so. There is a good chance that if they do it right, that the Avengers 60th can come out kind of at the same time as the ROC Cup, so that the Battle Royals and Sealed will be Avengers 60th. Yeah. So that would
which would also be the same time as the Free Comic Book Day, Guardians of the Galaxy movie. That's when Avengers Forever storyline's wrapping up. That's
all that stuff. So it would be nice. So but we'll see. So anyway, have you seen any of the stuff for it? Like you've seen the sculpts and because I put it on our site.
So I have seen very little of it, and that's just me personally because I was never one of those preview spoiler guys.
Yeah.
Okay, I know that's coming out. When I have to order it, I'll order it. But I never was, an unboxing video guy. A pre-release is good because the set's right there. So that's 2 sets away. I want to play back.
Yeah. Right.
So I haven't seen so much for the solicits. I'm assuming it's going to be standard dice token packs, play at home.
Yeah, Avengers. Yeah, but really, what it is this: they've now put in legacy cards in the play at home kits, and I believe there are.
Okay.
That's why I'm saying. So I put. If you look, it's on there. They actually have the picture of the play at home kits. I think there are. I want to say there's 3. There's a Hulk. There's a Captain America and an Iron Man. Like,
do we know which ones, or does it just say Hulk, Cap, and Iron Man?
Well, the figures are them, right? But the legacy, there's a legacy card for each one in there. So, for example, the one, which is why you got to start paying attention to this one. The Iron Man one, it said on the solicit, Iron Doom Legacy card. So,
Iron Doom.
Yes. Yeah, good luck trying to find that right now. Unless you want to pay like an arm and a leg for it, because that's a super rare from Invincible Iron Man.
Which one? So that's the name of it, Iron Doom?
Yep. Invincible Iron Man.
Oh, that guy. That's the skin one. Yeah, okay.
Yep. You saw that with the Doom cloak or whatever, right?
Okay.
So that's one, and sure enough, I mean, I got a message from Kevin, pull it off now because I'm gonna get it. I was like, all right, I'll take it. So I'll set it aside for him. And like, yeah, if you look right now, I don't even know if there's any online that you can get, because they just, like, as soon as that went up and people saw it was gone. I know that mine, I was luckily I pulled the last one down before it sold, because Kevin had messaged me like, I'm gonna buy it, just take it off. Because I had we have 2 more, and I was like, whoa.
So we have Iron Doom. Is it just Hulk, or is it? Okay,
so the Hulk one says General Thunderbolt Ross.
Oh, Airstrike. Oh, okay.
There are 3 different ones. It doesn't say which one. It just says General Thunderbolt Ross. So the question is, which one is it? I hope and pray it's the Airstrike. But we never know, right? Because all 3 of them have the same name.
Yeah.
So you can't, it's not like you'd be like, well, that one has a different name, so it's not that. It could be one of 3. It could be the Fast Forces, the Gravity Feed, or the Rare.
Right. Okay.
So that's from the Hulk one. And then the last one is Captain America, right? Okay. And it says Captain America Legacy card. So good luck with that one. Because there's only like 100 Captain Americas that you can look up now. So it's really funny, because the next day I get an order put in of like maybe like 15 Captain Americas, right? All different. And so I was like, oh, I gotta take it. So I take a picture of all of it and I put it on Instagram. I'm like, as an order of the day, I said, which one of these do you think is gonna be the legacy card? Because this person just bought them all, and I think he got them all, or they got them all. They were like, I want to say like $2 or $3 or less. Because obviously you're not going to probably buy the Chase or the super rares that are Captain America, but it's pretty safe if you buy all the commons and uncommons and stuff. That if it's not it, fine, you're out $10, but you have 10 figures. So it says Captain America. You don't know which one. So what do you think it is?
Oh, for Captain America. Before I get to that, so this is my prediction for General Ross. If they're smart, okay, you pick the rare General Ross, which starts with a special attack power, willpower, and leadership. But you make his special attack power Airstrike.
Airstrike.
Right, and then he goes into Alter Ego or something else. It's the same dial setup, but it's on click 1.
Click 1, right.
But you don't have to put a trait that says you can deal 1 damage to Ross.
Yeah.
So that's make that one the new Airstrike.
You know what, though? It makes sense, so they're not going to do it. Because that's the WizKids motto. It makes sense, so we're not going to do it.
So this is all right. So this will be my prediction for Captain America.
Okay.
And then this is kind of goes into just when you posted here's the itinerary. I thought you just meant in general. I didn't realize this was part of it. But I think what they should do for the 60th anniversary, they should pick all of the first appearance sculpts of the Avengers and make the legacy cards for them. So like Captain America would be the original V shield from his first appearance. And you can do Gray
Which
Hulk.
one would that be? But which cap would that be, though?
There's a couple of them that are like that. I mean, like the unique from Infinity Challenge is one of them, right?
Okay.
That
that is, oh my God, that thing has to be like 10 points because we can't be playing a 35.8 attack guy.
Right. So like you can have him, you can have like gold or gray old school Iron Man sculpts that they've done a couple times. You can have a gray Hulk. I would say do first appearance sculpts as your legacy cards.
Yeah, that would be good. That would be cool. That would be cool. Yeah. So you think it'll be one of those, because one of the Captain Americas that you're talking about with the V shield is the Age of Ultron uncommon.
Yeah.
It's that one. He has the shield too. So that is one. The other one is from the Avengers set. The actual Avengers set where he has the gun.
Yeah, the original Avengers. Yeah, first.
But that's Ultimate's cap. So I don't know if that would be.
But it's still the gun and the shield. Yeah, I mean you can do that. So
but
I think
okay.
I think
you know what, the unique is that's a good guess. It could be a unique Infinity Challenge. Oh God.
Let's bring that. You know what? If you want to, if Infinity Challenge is too old, make it the unique universe one.
Isn't that the same? Isn't that the same thing?
It is, but like Thanos is a good example. Thanos's legacy card has the Infinity Challenge symbol. You can't use Universe Infinity.
Yeah, right.
Thanos with it. So that Captain America is 35 points. 2, 4, 6, 7 clicks deep. ESD leadership to start.
What's his stats?
8, 8, 16, 0 range.
Oh, say that again. 8,
16,
oh,
0 range.
Ooh,
His
man.
final 2 clicks, he has an 11 defense.
Oh, yes. So if they do this, he's got to be like 20 points, and he's got to have like a super leadership or something. He's got to have a super something because, dude, he's not hitting anyone, right? He's basically like Leech.
Yeah. Or he's,
or Lockjaw.
Like combat pumps, something. Yeah.
I don't even think the combat pumps will do any justice. He's got to be like an inspirational guy, kind of like he automatically.
Here you go.
Leadership.
All right. Here you go. I'm just going to throw this out there, okay? And then you tell me how many points this is. Okay? Captain America, legacy card, Infinity Challenge unique. We just read off his stats. You are player number 1, period.
Oh, God, no way. There's no way they could. I don't think that would have. There's got to be like 100 points, man, because that, like, going first is so huge. Like, you're just player 1. Or how about this? Okay, to make it more balanced, then, how about he just adds to your whatever arbitrary number they want to choose to your map roll if he's on a theme team, or like if he's on a theme team, you add this. If he's not on a theme team, you add this.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that would work because just saying you're player 1, because then what would happen if we both play it? Then who's player 1?
A die roll, normal die roll.
So die roll. So, but I think the more practical one, if they do something like that, would be the plus. I think that's good. Kind of like
or like 6 theme team probs, like some of the figures that do
something like that. Yeah, I think that'll be a good one. But I think if we're gonna go with you want to be the player 1, I think instead of let's say you get a max +3.
Yeah.
He might say you get a max +5. You know what I mean? Or if you're not on a theme team.
Yeah.
You just get a +2 to your map roll or whatever I think that'll be cool. That's a good one. That's a good one. I like that one. I was gonna say like when he uses leadership, he just automatically succeeds.
Just leadership, automatic.
Because he doesn't have leadership his whole Dow, correct?
Correct. Yeah. 3 clicks.
So after those 3 clicks, he doesn't have it. So I think that would be awesome. He automatically succeeds. Like, okay, cool. Because I mean, like he does nothing else. Dude, he might as well be a 10 defense on click 1, right? That 16 deflection isn't gonna do anything with everyone. Everyone is rocking like 11s and 12s.
Yeah. Just nothing.
Okay, even like your 25-point guy's like an 11 attack now. It's like, what's going on here? Okay, so I think that's cool. I mean,
I did come up with one more figure that I think they should do for Avengers 60.
Okay.
And that's Avengers Prime, which is the 3-figure Cap, Iron Man, Thor chase from Chaos War.
You know, it'd be really awesome is if it was your idea where you want to get the first appearance guys.
Yeah.
But they have something where they can form into those 3.
So you bring Merge back.
Yeah, kind of like that. But you have to use those 3 like legacy guys.
Yeah.
That would be sick.
There you go.
Oh man. Okay, so I think one of the prizes for winning the ROC Silver Age championship is you get to pick a legacy figure.
That's
too.
right. Yeah. Didn't they do that last year too?
Yeah. So that's where we got Leech.
Oh.
Leech. Well, that's how 2 years ago. So actually, not last year, but the year before, with the Adam Freeman one, that's how he got Leech. And then this year, it's this year was Scott. Scott won. Okay. I think. Yeah, Scott won. So we don't know what it's going to be. It might be revealed.
At the ROC Cup.
At the ROC Cup, right? Like maybe Scott does like Scott Porter does a little, okay, here's a sneak preview of the next legacy that Scott Crampton got from last year. Boom, boom, That's what I think. So, all right, moving on. We have topic number 5. We had the Louisiana State Championship that was hosted, or I guess organized by Scott Crampton and I want to say I forgot what the guy's name is. It's something McTierney, but they organized it at this store, and they had like great prizing, good side events, and there's like a first and second place trophy. Like it was like the works, and I believe they had like 16 players, something like that. So what I'll do here is I'm going to bring up the 2 teams. So I'm going to share the screen, and then I think you can. Okay, let me do the window. Okay, can you see the? I don't know.
I can see your screen.
Okay, but you might as well look at yours. But this is for people that are watching.
Okay.
Online, they can see this here. But it was modern. And Batman team up is legal, so we're getting actually our first glimpse at what the metagame kind of looks like at the competitive level, because this was a competitive event. I recognize a lot of the names there, so they're really top flight players there. The winning list, Scott Crampton, he won. He played an X-Men swap team, but it's not your typical X-Men swap team, because now that Apocalypse and Genesis are out, that's kind of like how the new age swap teams are. Of course, Apocalypse makes all Arakko X-Men, and Genesis makes Brute.
Are you showing monster? That the Realms build list that you sent me with Batman, Wonder Woman, Sakaar, and Iron Man? Is that what you're showing?
I'm showing. I have both of them up. Do you see? Are they both up on the screen?
I don't see anything on the screen on the Zoom call. I'm looking at what you messaged me.
Okay. Oh, interesting. Because I think.
Oh, these are 2 different teams.
Yeah, these are 2 different teams. Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Okay, I thought you just redid the team because his handwriting is just garbage.
No. So you see the screen though. Scott Crampton's team is the one that's written down, and then
Okay.
The one on the Realms build is the runner-up team. It's
runner-up team. Okay.
Kenny Mix. So Scott's playing X-Men swap. He's got Wonder Woman, the Prime Wonder Woman. That's the one that starts with. I believe she starts with the belt and like a ring.
And belt and the Green Lantern ring. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And then there's Professor X, obviously for the swap, and then Apocalypse from X of Swords OP, Genesis X of Swords OP, Sky Tyrant, Sakaar and Iron Man with the cloak, Commissioner, tarot cards, and then of course he has a bunch of different people for Professor X to swap in. Jubilee, Venom, Magneto, Maggots, and then there's even Scrappy Doo. So we're seeing quite a bit of Batman team up influence here already. And he ended up winning. I actually saw the game on their YouTube channel, and it was a good game. It is exactly what we were talking about earlier. Scott basically tried to take the hit after the Alpha Strike because he went second, and then he just counterattacked. And it was exactly what we're talking about. He used Wonder Woman to make barriers. You made is it the fire hydrant that makes the barriers?
Stop sign makes the barrier.
Stop sign makes the barrier, and then it stops the.
And fire hydrant removes the barriers.
Yeah, and then so he made that, and then Kenny went there with his Batman and made a fire hydrant to take away the barrier, and then and they come. So it's like it's like that whole dance. So I think that's going to be the dance going forward is stop sign versus fire hydrant. because everyone is going to be playing something like that, especially how everyone's looking at Alpha Strike. So he ended up beating Kenny, who is playing, I think this is a really cool team. A lot of new stuff on it. Actually, I think it might almost be, no, it's not. I was going to say exclusively all new stuff, but it's Batman Prime, the 25-point Green Lantern from the Batman team up, Wonder Woman, the one that reses the Connelly, Sakari and Iron Man, the Galactus Herald Dial. I don't know who it's on, so I don't know. And then Deathstroke, who we're talking about, at 100, not even 50, 100. And I think mainly because, he has a 10 attack at 50, so you kind of want him higher, and also a longer dial. Raven at 40, and that's the starter set, the miniatures game. Cloak of Levitation, the Tesseract. I don't know who has what, but the sideline actually has Red Raven too. So he tries to get Raven to die, so that Red Raven can come in. And Scott's just like, no, I'm not going to attack you. Because
I'm assuming between Wonder Woman and Deathstroke, this is a theme team of some kind.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, it is a theme team because Manny was using theme team props.
Okay.
But I guess it can't be on Batman, the Galactus Dial, because he starts with two things. The cloak and the Tesseract, I'm trying to figure out.
The cloak's on Sakari and Iron Man. It has.
Oh, okay, so there's that. So then I guess the Tesseract would be what? Raven, and then Deathstroke gets the dial? Or would you think that the Tesseract's on Wonder Woman? Maybe she carries Death, because Deathstroke isn't going to move. He's always going to be running shotting, right? So you won't be able to use the Tesseract.
Galactus might be on Wonder Woman to give her phasing to start.
But then Tesseract has phase as well.
With the prob, yeah. I don't know.
So that's what does Raven have TK prob already? If not, it could be on her.
TK and shape change. So she's a Mystic Titans TK. She can remove an action token from a place character.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's okay. I think yeah, she fills the slot with TK, but you kind of going to put her out there to die.
Yeah.
She's not going to be equipped. So Tesseract and Galactus is either on Deathstroke or Wonder Woman in some kind of combo.
Right, some kind of. But he was just obviously this team is really it's going to be using the Deathstroke to do stuff, and with Wonder Woman and Deathstroke, it's really hard to kill Deathstroke because of the resurrection, and also his stop click having mastermind, and you mastermind to Wonder Woman, she goes onto the stop click.
Right.
That's harder to kill her.
Right.
So, and he copies Wonder Woman team ability because he's a team player. So makes it tougher. So he's a super senses at like a 4, 5, or 6. So it's a really good. It's a pretty cool team. I think it is like the first week that it's legal. So you're just kind of like your initial thoughts of like, okay, I'm gonna play this because I think these are the best pieces in the set. Let's just try them out.
Right. Right.
Because that's what it looks like he's doing. So and they had Scrappy Doo as well on the sideline.
Scrappy on the sideline
too.
Yeah. Okay, some sideline stuff. Okay.
Because he brought it in when somebody died. I remember that. So.
Okay.
So, what do you think about these teams? I think the X-Men team is like kind of stock at this point, right?
Yeah. So I'll talk about Kenny's team first, just because I'm going to go off on a rant on Scott's team. So for Kenny's team, I'm thinking you're looking at I'm playing a time game with the Wonder Woman resurrection, stop clicks on Deathstroke, hard to kill Iron Man with his protection there. That's sort of the current timed meta, which is I'm really hard to kill. If you go after some smaller stuff like Raven, you're taking at least one Mystic click, if not two. Batman, I'm only 25 points. So it's a nice little recipe of hard to kill, but still with power offensive with Sakarian and Deathstroke. And depending on how he does it, he's going to have multiple TKs. It's probably not hard to get Deathstroke in position to go ahead and pulse wave. Right. So I think, and also this is probably an unknown factor, because if I'm a player and I've been planning for this, I don't know what Deathstroke, Raven, and
Right.
Batman do in a tournament setting, and how many people have seen a Herald of a Galactus dial equipment, right? So I think
Yeah.
an unknown factor got him on there. So kudos
Yeah.
for that. You
Yeah.
know, so good job getting there. For Scott's team, this is his recipe for an X swap Frankenstein keyword team.
Yeah.
He's
That's
using the new Wonder Woman. He's got the standard kind of characters on the front, the standard kind of characters on the sideline. A few that the Polaris and the Cypher, okay, maybe for some specific scenarios. Not have it, but he's got the Beast, he's got the Jubilee, he's got the Maggot. It is like I said, his recipe for the current power team out there, which is X Swap.
It's like you know what that team is? It's get all the good stuff that's in modern and put them on one team.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not going to fault Scott for running it. You organized the event, you paid to play, you run the best thing that was out there. You won with it. You piloted it. Good job. A little bit of your flavor on there with some figures with the Wonder Woman thing. Cool. I think the issue at whole is with the team itself. The X-Men can get any keyword mechanic, Frankenstein keyword that's going on. I think WizKids has jumped the shark and gone way too far. Coupled with the fact of the swap mechanic, which I've said since the beginning, Heroclix should have a sideboard, gone way too far and jumped the shark. This is just modern. We saw it at the 2K in silver and bronze. I literally can get any figure on an X-Men team
if you just really want to.
And it's bullshit, okay? This isn't a spoiler. I've been trying to do this all year. Pat knows this. I've been trying to build an Agent 13 team.
Oh, yeah.
Agent 13's keywords are shield and spy. God hard to build, okay? Captain Carter came along and I can morph around there. Then I just realized, why don't I just have AOA Magneto make her an X-Men, put her on an X-Men team, swap out Magneto, and now I got Agent 13 on an X-Men team.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Really? And maybe after the ROC Cup, if after the ROC Cup season, after our first half of our season, if this is what's dominating, WizKids needs to look at these their watch list mechanics. Yeah. I have ideas of what they can do to fix it, but I think it's gone too far, and it's to the point now where even us, when we're talking about team buildings here in Vegas for bronze events, we're like, well, we could just go X-Men. It's always there. Let's build something else. Let's see what else we can do. It's just,
so
that's my rant.
I think so remember, everything's a copycat.
Yeah.
Right. They're just seeing what's out there. But
yeah,
there are quite a few ways to stop it. It's just because it's copycat, no one's gonna do it. But one of the ways to stop that cold is if you played Doom.
Doom, yeah. Doom stops.
You just like so number one, you gotta win the map.
Yeah.
But if you win the map and you're just like, so all you guys don't have keywords if they're not on your thing. So now they can't swap.
Yeah.
Because they don't have X-Men now. So now they're just stuck. Number two, so here's number two. You could play Dr. Thing on your starting force and swap him out. Because at the starting when you reveal your team.
Yeah.
You pick something from the sideline that they can't bring in.
They can't bring it in. Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah.
So then then you swap him out and you're like, cool, I don't care. We're done.
And for being a competitive player most of my HeroClix career, I'm not even ranting or caring about the fact that from a competitive standpoint, you're right. There are counters to it. It's a strong team. They just have to.
People just have to look. That's all.
Right. I run a comic book store. Sakarian Iron Man is a what if figure. Yeah. Sky Tyrant is an Elseworlds figure. Yeah. The Commissioner is an Elseworlds figure. Those things should not be on an X-Men theme team.
Oh, yeah. Your casual side's showing a little bit. Yeah. I get what you're saying though. Yeah, definitely. When it comes to like a comic book game, for sure, there has to be some cohesion.
But also from a play standpoint, where it stands now of what you can do with all of it, I think their intent of what they wanted the game mechanic to be and how they do it, just by their R&D and lack thereof, it kind of surpassed that. I think they need to get it back in line to what they wanted their intent to be of a sideline, a swap mechanic, bringing in these characters can merge a generic keyword into a new keyword,
you know what, and I've always said this about them all the time.
Yeah.
When they want to do something because they think, oh, you know what? So I'll give you an example. We're talking about earlier how, oh, you know what? The games are over in like 3 turns and it's 300-0 because there's no play. Now they've overcorrected it.
Yeah.
To where now it's like, you know what? We're gonna make every 50-point piece not die.
Yeah.
So that you get all the play.
Yeah.
But now there's no way for you to get points because we just want you to keep playing until time runs out. So the score will be 50-0, right? As opposed to before it was like 300-0, but it was quick. So what they do is they overcorrect it.
Right.
And it's I mean, got to give them some credit. It is hard to balance it. So once they get it here, they go, you know, it really worked, and they just keep going, and then before you know it, they're over here now, right? And so this is how it is too. When they go, you know what? People have complained about not having enough team building versatility.
Right.
So we're gonna So they slowly introduced something. Like they introduced one thing and like, oh cool, that worked. And then they go like Doom, he makes this. X-Men, they make this. Okay, now we're gonna add the swap. They make this. Okay, cool. And then they go, well, here's Genesis and here's Apocalypse. And you're like, whoa, now you're over here. Because Genesis puts it over.
Yeah, because I don't think the swap mechanic was ever R&D'd with the keyword mashup mechanic.
Things that, yeah.
And a couple ideas we were talking at dinner tonight. One, you can only swap characters with the keyword if it's printed on their card, you know? So you can do that. Or, and this is where I think it might work mechanically when you're building a team. A character can only gain a keyword from one source. So you wouldn't be able to multi-people do it. So for instance, if Genesis is giving somebody a Rocco,
you can't get X-Men.
You can't get X-Men from Apocalypse.
That makes sense. Good.
I know they probably designed those figures to work together, but when you're having Deathstroke make a Justice League guy this that then becomes X-Men, like, stop it at some point.
Okay.
Don't let it just chain. Maybe.
Now, you know what? That can easily be remedied by just adding a line in the rule book that says you can't gain more than one keyword.
There you go.
Then they don't have to change anything on anything. They just in the rule book, right?
Yeah.
So, but we can use this to our advantage because now when we do BBWs, we can be like, here's your challenge. Give this guy as many keywords as you can, or like give this guy this keyword.
Yeah.
Or my favorite, give Migsy a keyword and put him on a theme team. That's because he has no keywords. And he's hard to theme.
No keywords. Yes.
He's very hard to theme because he's a lot of points.
Yes.
For what 70 points is high.
Yes.
And he's not a standard size character. So pieces like Captain America or Steve Rogers, they have to be standard. They can't.
Yes.
You can't put them in. Some of them have point restrictions. So that would be one of the the challenges that I would love to do is put Migsy on the team.
I know how. All right, I won't say this on podcast because I don't want to give it away, but I'd have to look at the figure. But I'm pretty sure I know one figure that can do that. So.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So that'll paywall if you're gonna want to read an article from Roland. And that and the 40 damage thing. So you're gonna have to actually write an article before the next event where that you can play that.
Yeah.
Like we'll put it like that week so that people know, because like you've been like teasing it and everyone's like, what is it? What is it? What is it?
You know what? I've been trying. My guys here in town want to know what it is, and I'm like, I just want to show you on the map. Like, I'm not going to keep it hidden from my teammates, but like, I want you to see it the first time to see if you can figure it out. If Jeff would ever send me the figures and give me the price list for what I need, I can put the team together. You know?
Well, I might have it. Let me know.
I will. I told Jeff after, because when we were working, he's like, yeah, I'll send you a list. Let me know what you don't have off of it. And then I was going to hit you up. And was like, because I know I got some credit there and everything. But
I was half telling him, I was like, dude, he's just trolling you guys because he's making you guys, because everyone is like, what is it? What is it? I'm like, he got in your head, guys. It's not. It's nothing. No, he's just bullshitting you guys.
No, I can do it. 40 damage. So, yeah.
So my guess is
Okay.
it has to do with, I want to say something like Maximum Carnage. That has something to do with that. You can get a lot of triggers off of that.
So you're at least thinking Bronze Age,
Yeah.
to go back there for that, to where you can go. It has to be an old mechanic,
I think so.
combo with something. So
I was
okay.
thinking about it because I'm like, you can't
Yeah.
Vulture, you can't Hawkeye, you can't like, like the
Yeah.
only thing that can like ramp up so fast would be,
Right.
but it has to be a couple things, like they have to be all next to each other, number
Yeah.
one, and you have to get your damage up, because I looked at it and I don't think it does printed. I think
No.
it just says how much damage you take. So I was like, oh, well, if you can actually do 6,
Yeah.
I mean, that's not that hard. You just hit like, a few times and that splash damage it like multiplies quickly.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's what I like. Maybe it's that, I don't know. Or maybe you're just like, I blades you 3 times and it's like, but it's double. So it's like 36 plus this. I'm like, okay, it could be that.
No. It's not like I have to roll a certain thing or roll this or whatever. No, it deals the damage. So
okay.
Yeah.
So that would be my guess. So we'll see.
Okay. Now, all right. So I'm gonna throw another one out there for you. You know what? We'll wait until before we do the outro, when we're done with this one. I'll throw another. I have another idea. I finally cracked after an entire year. So
okay. Well, that's all the that's all of our topics, because that's like what's the newest news and notes. But guess since we're going to be talking about the 2023 season for the Open Series, this goes right into it. So go ahead.
Okay, so 2023 season. For those of you that are in the Bronze Age format discussion, I went ahead and asked Pat, or I pointed out that there are no wrestling themed maps on the legal map list.
There is now.
We needed to correct that, and there is now when the new map list comes out. The reason being is because I need a wrestling themed map to run my wrestlers on.
Nice.
When I bring out my WWE team.
Okay.
I finally figured out how to make meta and run the 2023 season. So I got a WWE theme team, or at least a WWE mechanic.
Okay.
Are
you playing are you playing like regular objects, like just standard objects?
There's regular objects, but there's equipment on the team.
It's got to be the trash can lid or a chair, or it doesn't work.
Or the chair, the trash can lid, and the table. It comes in the starter.
Yeah, it's got to be one of. Okay, you just okay.
I have those. Yeah.
Okay, so I know Jeff and I talked about the last, but we're just going to reiterate it again. There are 3 levels now for the events. It's winner maps, ICQs, Invitational Championship qualifiers, and regionals /1K. So winner maps, it's obviously just a map and some dice tokens and maybe a couple LEs or whatever. And then it's really for like a 6-8 man event, and the winner gets the map, and just the stores or even play groups, game clubs can just order the kit and they can just do whatever format. But obviously we would like to have the format be something that's competitive, like bronze, modern. I wouldn't even say silver, because like they're kind of stealing from our thunder there. Just do bronze, modern, but I would even say pauper, because I really like that. Or people want to do sealed, fine, do sealed. But you're gonna accrue points, because that's what we're doing now. We're accruing points for the Invitational in 2023, and what it's going to be is, for you to enter the main event, you just need to get enough points or qualify by winning an ICQ. So ICQ, same thing. The winner gets in. It's what we've been doing last year. It's just
or top 4 in a regional.
A top 4 in a regional. So that's the next one. Regional or 1K. So the 1K regional, it's only going to be, I want to have at least 4. So like you guys will have one, Jeff, me, that's 3. And I would like the 4th one to be in Arizona if we can. And then the 5th one, if we can do one like maybe in LA or Fresno or Bakersfield, something like that. So it would be nice. But the price is going to be better. It's going to be higher stakes, whatever. But everyone's going to accrue points, and obviously you get more points in those higher events. And then we still have to figure out how many points is actually needed to enter the event. We don't want it too hard where you just can't do it, but we also want it too easy where you just playing like 2 events
and get it.
And you get in because
or be able to buy your way into a ROC Cup with
Yeah, we don't want
TCG player
yeah.
points.
Yeah, that's why we're not gonna do. That's why we're not gonna physically give points. We're just gonna have it on a database that you can use, and then whatever extra you get, we'll have a prize wall that you can turn in. So like if you're already qualified, you can try to get more points, so you can use it for the invitational prize wall. You know, even if you don't want to play in the main event, you can just use it for that.
Yeah.
So,
and just for as a word for those 3 levels that you have, right? For those play groups that are smaller play groups out there, the winner maps are perfect for you to where you can get a little bit of a competitive edge or whatever. But if you time it up with a ICQ or a regional,
right?
You can get buys. For instance, Utah. If you guys, I know you guys have a small play group out there. If you run a win a map, because that's about the size that you are appropriate for you.
Mm-hmm.
But if you time it up when Vegas runs their event, your guy will get a first round buy into my event. For the guys, I know
with 300 points, first round buy with 300 points. Just
with
keep
300 points, full points, right? I know Northern Phoenix just got a new venue, and Phoenix is broad out there for geographically. Mm-hmm. It's a smaller player group. If you guys run a win a map to tie into the Tucson ICQ, just make sure it's all timed up for there. You know, so you can be a small play group and still participate in this to then work your way up through the different levels if you're traveling to Tucson or Vegas or SoCal or whatever. Yeah.
So, with that being said, February is already starting to fill up with dates. I know that there's a convention here, a gaming convention. It's called Strategicon, and we're doing 2 winner maps there. There's one modern, one bronze. We're gonna do one at the store. There's one in Palmdale that they're gonna be running. I want to say it's like the first week of March though. So, but it's already starting to fill up with events. So. We'll be putting out the BBW challenges, and then we can go from there. Because the BBW challenges, whatever we put up, if you play it, you'll get a point. Let's say for the open series. But if you win or top 8 or top 4, if it's a higher level, then you get more points. So it kind of incentivizes you, but also it's the spirit of the format of just trying things. And then
so
like you said, like a real X-Men swap team with all X-Men only. You know.
So the way, just to reiterate for our viewers out there, so if you do well in placement, you earn points. Mm-hmm. There's going to be other challenges that allows you to earn points as well, and all the points are for the same thing to get you into the 2K at the end of the season. And if you're not that big of a competitive player, you can use those points for other prizes that you accumulate throughout there.
Or other side events, whatever.
So exactly.
That's what we'll all that we have until December to figure that out.
Right.
But like I did for the last one, we for the last couple months we just slowly started announcing little things here and there, and it got people hyped up. So we'll start doing that. Also for the next map, because I know right now we're doing the Haddon Street, but the next one will be the Hogwarts, the indoor. So I know people have asked, can we do a Bizarro map? It's like, okay, let's do a Bizarro version, but Hogwarts inside with all the stairs.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it's it's a multi-level. Okay. So, but it's indoor, but we're going to make sure that there isn't too much blocking and walls so that you can just like completely just cover yourself in there and not make it accessible.
And I know your guys really good about that, but make sure that the hardest part of that Bizarro World map was the color scheme.
Yeah.
It was red buildings on red lines on red this. Make it visually easy to determine what stuff is.
Yeah. So that'll be hopefully we can do that by because this whole first quarter will be the Haddon Street because we just barely give that out. But at the end of that we'll have that first one and we'll go from there. So that's it. What's what we got. Hopefully we can do this, maybe every week, every other week to, just kind of like news and notes. And if there's anything that newsworthy come out, we can do this and we go.
You guys, if you wanted something for us to talk about next time, leave a comment, message us on social media. You know how to get a hold of us and we'll talk about it and everything like
also, that. There's also like, if let's say you want, because we're also looking at, when we do the map rotation, we also want to look at 1 or 2 maps that are not modern, that we want to kind of bring back, just so maybe what's your favorite map that you want in, like Roland said, WWE. Oh yeah, dude, that's a good one. We'll put one in. So what else is out there? Also, there's always some kind of stupid drama on Facebook that always comes up when it comes to like the trade groups and whatever Heroclix, whatever the complaint of the week is. We can always like do our reaction, a stupid reaction, whatever, if it's worth talking about or not, but whatever.
Right.
New watch list things or new solicits, like I said, new announcements of rules, clarifications, things like that. We're always going to be on the lookout for those. So, I guess that's it for this first one. You got anything else to say?
You know what? I was just say for the 2023 season, we can have all of these plans. We can put the levels together. We can put the events together, but it really doesn't work without the players, without you guys watching it, without you guys who are listening to this, without you guys who are commenting and everything like that. And I know for 2022, a lot of players played in a lot of events. You could tell the cream of the crop that was kind of up there, and you could kind of tell the people who were having fun and the people who are improving and wanting to do that. Yeah. Let's just keep it going for 2023. Yeah. We need you guys to participate. Feel free to participate in the dialogue, practice stuff, come up with new combos. Maybe you're the guy at the next event that you come in 10th with this really cool thing, but when you tweak it, it top 8's the next time, everything like that. And then for the players, the top players out here on the West Coast, the players that consistently placed, that won, that were in the 2K, this is my challenge for you for 2023. Okay.
Especially the 8 people that have already qualified for the.
Especially for the 8 people that have already qualified. But I mean, just for everybody that ran their stuff and did multiple qualifiers and everything like that, you can be a good Heroclix player that always wins or always does stuff. If you want to go to that next level, that Hall of Fame level, that elite level that everybody sees you on, you need to become a complete player. And in my opinion, a big factor of that is playing and building multiple and different variety of teams.
And winning with them, exactly.
We're not going to get in on this one, but I have thoughts about the builds for the 2K, for all those guys that made the 2K. But Bronze Age, nothing rotates out. I mean, we tweak stuff, but I mean, it is supposed to be an all-encompassing field.
It's an eternal
format. If you found a power team in 2022, you can play that until we either ban it or something comes out that's a silver bullet. There's no reason for you to change it. I can play Gamora, Lieutenant Gordon, Flash every tournament. I'm not going to. For those of you that have your builds, find the next build, evolve the field, evolve the play group, evolve everything to show that the West Coast really has the best players out here, and not just, I'm a good player, I can win with this, and I'm comfortable making my top 8 and I'm done. So
you're right.
That's my challenge to all the top players out here in the West, to elevate their game and raise their game up for 2023.
So with that being said, guys, remember, only bad players blame the dice.
See you guys.